VR.
Must be time to have a chat to Mr. Technology, Easy Wireless himself, benaylett.com.
Thank you very much.
Is the website. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Chris. How are you going?
Not bad, not bad.
Great.
What's news that is news?
Well, we've had a lot happen recently, especially, well, heaps of time. Should we get straight into it, or do we have a call to
Tell you
first?
what, before we do anything, by the way, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben, 922 11882.
Yep.
Brian has been waiting. He shall wait no longer. Good day, Brian.
Oh, hi, Chris and Ben. How are you?
Good,
Very
mate.
well, Brian.
Ben,
What's up, mate?
In late 2010, I bought an iPad 2
Yeah.
in New York.
Well done.
And it's been working good ever since. I realised it wouldn't last forever, but in March 2014, I bought an iPad mini just so that I spread the use around.
Yeah.
And it's been working really well until last Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I put some data in the morning, and then later it wouldn't activate. It said the server's not available, but it did refer to using iTunes and connecting the port up to your iPad and trying to activate it that way.
Right. Okay. So it's lost its activation, and you've had this since 2000 and when?
Late 2010.
2010.
But as I said, from March 14, I would have only used it about a third of the time because I had the other one,
Yeah.
realising it would last forever.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Okay.
it's never been like I've never undercharged it under 50%, and it's always sort of charged properly, worked properly, you know.
And it needs to be activated.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Version
difficult.
9.3, I think, might be the problem that was updated.
Yeah. Now, when there's some software updates, yes, they do need to be activated again. Do you have iTunes running on a computer?
Yeah, I do. A funny thing, 2 days later,
Yeah.
they sent me an update, so I definitely have the latest.
Right. Well, almost the latest, right?
Well, they only sent it to me 2 days ago, so
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a latest version.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've got a feeling if it's been getting along pretty well, so it's a bit long in the tooth now. Getting it to activate. So have you plugged your iPad into your computer?
No, I haven't tried that. All I did, it says try again. I did it. I thought that I haven't tried that at all. So,
Okay. That's your step number one. Do what it tells you to do. So grab your iPad and the cable, hook it up to your PC, run iTunes, and see if you can get it authenticated or registered or whatever it is that it wants, and then follow your nose from there. Of course, if you do get stuck, you're more than welcome to give me a call. Quite happy to help out during the normal working week.
Yeah, all right. It's not a critical thing like having the other one, and also I just quickly I bought an iPhone 8 Plus.
Nice.
With a leather case, and I'm just getting the feeling that the leather case is sort of choking the antenna a bit. I know that they used to have that problem a few models ago.
That's right. Yep. That was.
And they said, "Oh, you're not holding it the right way."
Yeah, that old thing. Yeah, that was with the iPhone 4.
That was a long topic. Okay.
iPhone 4 and the iPhone 4S, I think they had a lot of problems with the antenna because they were built into the edge of the case.
So the 8 Plus may not be, perhaps.
I hope they would have sorted it out by the time they got to iPhone 8.
I think so. That's only a minor thing, anyway.
Yeah. But it is possible.
Okay, so I'll have a go with doing that, Ben. And if I have any trouble, I'll give you a bell.
Fantastic, Brian. Thanks for that.
Good. Thank you. Bye.
No worries.
Yeah. Always something that pops up, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's always something that's. Sometimes you understand when people say to you, this technology is out to get me. Yeah. Yes, it's an inanimate object, but the person who made it hates me. You have a justifiable reason for believing that sometimes.
Yeah, well, look, it's not an active hate. When people,
no, I realise
when people make technology, they make it as best they can with the gear they've got on hand at the time, and sometimes they nail it, other times they don't. And, sometimes when it doesn't work out, it feels like they're after you.
Right, now what else have we got coming up? By the way, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben, 922 11882. But what else is happening in the world of technology?
Well, today we had a massive story drop. Now, those of you that do running and fitness and all that sort of thing, you'd be familiar with fitness apps.
Yep.
Okay. So there's this fitness app or this fitness service It is called, where'd I put it? Dang it.
Murphy's Law lives.
Murphy's Law, it's right. It's Strava. That's it. It's Strava. So Strava. This is a service that you can have your phone, wearable fitness device, step tracker, GPS service all hooked into. And what it does is that it tracks your runs, your swims, your rides. If you go skiing, it'll track your distances. And it will show it up on a map. And you can share your runs or your cycles or basically your workouts. You can show them on a map, either with friends, with the community, or with the world at large. Now, from the Department of Unintended Consequences, we've found out...
Comes something that'll cost you money.
Yeah, not quite cost you money, but this is really, really serious. So obviously there are troops deployed overseas. And a lot of these troops overseas are working in forward operating bases or in just some sort of remote location where they don't want to be found.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay, right.
Makes perfect sense.
Now, these soldiers are usually very fitness-oriented people by nature.
Yep.
So they are going to track their patrols and their runs and everything they do on their base. And unfortunately, those that have been using the Strava app have had their patrols actually showing up on the global heat map for Strava. So it's actually been highlighting secret military bases in all sorts of places.
Oh, my God. Well, of course it would.
Yeah.
Because it's not designed to keep stuff quiet.
No, that's right. That's right. So,
but the soldiers themselves should be aware of that.
You'd think so.
You'd think there'd be some lieutenant somewhere who'd be kicking bums and saying, no, boys, we won't be doing this.
Yeah. So I think there's either going to be a bit of education where they have to tell troops, look, if you want to use this stuff, you have to turn off tracking, or you have to do something about your sharing so it's not publicly available, or better still, before you board the plane, hand in all your electronic gear.
Kind of makes sense to me.
It does.
Summer on 6PR. Improve your health. Improve your life. It's time to try ImproMi.
This is Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley.
Yes, indeed. If you'd like to join us, 922 11882. If you'd like to get in contact with Ben, it's benaylett.com. And that's also where you find all of his contact information. Now, a little bit of a story just before we take a call from Mark.
Mm-hmm.
The old studio equipment from 6PR
Yeah.
was acquired by a bloke called Josh who lives in Tasmania.
Oh, yeah.
And how the story came about was one of the Facebook radio groups that they were talking about the fact that the work was being done here at 6PR at the time. And the question was being asked about who wants the old equipment. And I just put this little note and said, anyone who wants the old equipment, just send me a message.
Yep.
First in, first represented.
Yes.
Well, I'd barely hit send when I got this reply back from Josh.
Yeah.
And he said, I so want the equipment. So I said, okay, I'll go into bat for you.
Yep.
And I'm pleased to say that Josh got the equipment and he's building a community radio station in Tasmania. It's called
awesome.
Pulse FM.
There you go.
And he just sent a note and he said, your voice is going through the old console for the first time since July. So it's nice to have you listening in online, Josh, and there's who knows how everything old becomes new again.
Yeah, it's really good. A bit of recycling there. So well done, Josh.
And you want to see the
Great
job.
work.
You want to see the job he's done installing them too.
Yep.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you, Josh is 15.
Yep.
I mean, how smart is this guy? Seriously.
Yep.
G'day, Mark.
Oh, g'day, guys. Look, I've got a bit of a weird Bluetooth problem.
Uh-huh.
I've got a digital stereo in my car with Bluetooth connection, so my phone will connect to it.
Uh-huh.
So I play my playlist through my MP3 player on my phone, and it plays through the car stereo, and the phone kind of sound turns off, so it's all coming through the stereo.
Right.
Now that's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but when I try to do it, when I try to play a YouTube clip, it doesn't. The sound still comes out of the phone. Nothing comes out of the speakers in the car, but the stereo thinks it's connected because on the console on the stereo, it comes up with the label of the track that I'm playing on the YouTube thing, but the sound isn't coming out. It's still coming out of my phone.
That is really bizarre.
Dumb as it sounds, could it be as simple as something like having YouTube muted?
If YouTube was muted, then you wouldn't be able to hear the audio coming through the phone speakers.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so what have we tried to do to fix it?
Well, as Ned Flanders' parents said, I've tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas.
All right. Well, the first thing I do, whenever I've got Bluetooth problems, it might take a couple of goes, but what I do is I have my phone or other mobile device forget the Bluetooth control that it's trying to talk to. So you go into your Bluetooth settings and you should be able to highlight the controller, and there might even be a gear icon or some other sort of little control next to that device. And you can get your device to then forget or erase the settings for that Bluetooth device. Then you just pair it up again, and it might take a couple of goes, but it should pair up and it should work. That's the theory.
Okay, well, I've got the same brand stereo in two different cars, and it's the exact same problem in both.
Oh.
So,
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
All righty.
So it's something fundamental.
Well,
I
yes,
think.
of course, yeah. That's a real good one. Next thing I would do was look at firmware, see if there's any updates for the Bluetooth stereo, if there's any updates for the phone. Make sure that's all up to speed, because that could be fixed doing that. You may need to reinstall the YouTube app. I'd give that a shot.
Okay.
That could fix it too. What sort of phone do you have?
It's an iPhone 7. iPhone 7.
iPhone 7, okay.
Yep.
Yes, check for recent iOS updates, because I'm sure there are some out there. And I would either update, see if there's any YouTube updates.
Yeah.
And if not, I would remove and reinstall the YouTube app. That should fix the problem.
All right. That's worth a shot.
All right. Good luck with it, mate.
Okay, thanks very much.
No worries, Mark.
Cheers.
Everything's worth a shot. Sometimes these things, once you get to that point, that last point, and it becomes frustrating.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Look, only today I was fiddling, just trying to help a customer work out her cryptocurrency stuff. Mm-hmm. So she's trading in cryptocurrency, and she wanted to know how to get her, it's like a hardware wallet.
Yep.
Like a little USB ledger thingy.
Yep.
And just trying to get that to work. And sometimes, especially this newish technology, is a little bit iffy.
Yep. You just got to get, the thing is you've got to be patient though.
Yes.
G'day, Tim.
Oh, g'day, guys. How are you?
Good, mate.
Very good, Tim.
Good. You had caller on a second ago who was talking about the Bluetooth audio as opposed to the Bluetooth phone.
Yep.
He's getting some out of one and not the other.
Mm-hmm.
I drive an Isuzu, and the stereo in this car, and I believe a lot of others, separates the phone and the audio function. So you need to connect the Bluetooth device to the car twice. You need to connect it once for audio and once for phone, but it then separates them out. So he may not have connected it for audio.
That's very possible. That seems quite reasonable, so that's worth trying as well. Thanks very much for that, Tim.
No dramas, guys. Have a good night.
You too, mate.
Thanks very much for that.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, they probably do. Mind you, these days, you would imagine the newer cars now would have Apple Play and Android Play, wouldn't you?
Yeah, Android Auto, yeah.
Android Auto,
So,
sorry.
Yeah, you've got CarPlay and Android Auto.
Yeah. CarPlay's the Apple.
Yep.
Android Auto obviously runs all the Android products.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I really like, I actually use these, namely Android Auto, and I find Android Auto to be completely awesome. It is so good.
Is it a good product, is it?
It is amazing. It is really, really good. And I don't even have an incredibly smart head unit for my car. So Android Auto actually goes a step further than CarPlay. So I've got a magnetic dash mount, and I pop my phone on the dash mount, and I put into Android Auto, and my phone becomes the set-top thingy. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it sits on the dash and does all the jobs, and I don't need to get anything smart for it.
Beautiful. If you'd like to have a chat to Ben, 922 11882, the number. And by the way, Ben's contacts on benaylett.com.
The Sky. Perth Tonight with Chris Ilsley on 882 6PR.
Oh, it's amazing how things just sort of fall into place, Ben.
Oh, yeah?
we had a call from Mark with his Bluetooth problem.
Yep.
Tim phoned with an idea.
Uh-huh.
Mark's phoned back and said, all fixed.
All fixed.
Yeah.
He used YouTube to fix it, apparently.
Oh, mate.
Well, there you go.
Mate, where would we be without YouTube?
Well, we wouldn't be streaming, that's for sure.
That's right. You're now streaming on YouTube.
I am.
And I said, well, why aren't you streaming on Facebook like you used to? And your answer was?
My answer was that not everyone is on Facebook and everyone knows where to find YouTube. So dead easy.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Sure does.
G'day, Dave.
Yeah, g'day. Just wondering if you could help me. On the weekend, I had one of these Chromecast units that I was trying to get with my old technology working at home. Anyway,
Awesome.
Ended up hooking it up and got it sort of working. But since then, my internet, my Wi-Fi in my house doesn't seem to be working. So it sort of works intermittently. On my main computer, it comes up, because we've got a wireless dongle because we can't get any hardwired internet here. It just comes up on our main computer. It just comes up with Wi-Fi, and it shows that the Wi-Fi is locked on. But then if you click on that, it says searching for new network, and the internet will every now and again it'll let a few emails through.
Yep.
So what I did was I unplugged the Chromecast.
Yep.
And then it wouldn't work at all, and I've plugged it in, and now it seems to be working sort of intermittently again. But what I can't figure out is how can I get rid of this Chromecast thing, because everything was working fine before I did that.
Yeah, now this is interesting. This is something that was reported early January, where Google Chromecasts were actually causing problems for home Wi-Fi. So you're not alone. This is actually a relatively common problem, and it's usually fixed with a software update for the Chromecast. So I would the first thing you do before disconnecting the Chromecast, because when it works, it is awesome, I would go and see if there's any firmware updates or software updates for your Chromecast. And you're able to do this using your Google Home app on your phone.
Okay, no worries. Before it actually loaded, before I got it running, it actually said it was updating. It took about half an hour. But I'll try. So I should be able to go into that app, and then there'll be something in there that says update.
Exactly, yes. So you go to the device and you should be able to click on a little gear icon or a little menu icon and check for updates. If that doesn't work, then yes, by all means, unplug the power, pull the Chromecast out and put it in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah, I did that. I did that, and that's when the Wi-Fi wouldn't work at all.
All right, and then we go, and then after you removed it, after you shut down the Chromecast, did you reset everything? Did you shut everything off and then back on again?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So do that.
Always do that.
I'll try the update first.
All right. Good luck with it, mate.
Thanks for your help.
No worries,
appreciate
Dave.
it. Thank you.
It's amazing how we get these sorted out eventually, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it always happens. We always get there.
Now, I know there's something by the way, if you'd like to have a chat to Ben, last drinks, 922 11 882, but there's something you're itching to tell me now. Like a kid on Christmas Eve. What's going on here?
Oh, the Apple HomePod has been released in Australia. Well, it's going to be released very soon, so it's available for pre-order right now as we speak, and it will be available to buy in all the big retail stores, I'll say early next month. So it's February the 9th is when they hit the shelves. And so this is Apple's answer to the Google Home and the Amazon Echo. And it's they're kind of leaning on their audio quality more than the smarts. So Google Home is basically, it's got the all-knowing Google built into a little box. Amazon has got a lot of all-knowing stuff, but it's also got a store hooked up to it, the big Amazon store. And the Apple HomePod is all about the music and the media. So it's got very impressive specs. So it's got a 7-tweeter array and a woofer, and they use something called beamforming technology. So the HomePod can be placed in a room, you switch it on, and then it uses an array of microphones and the tweeters and everything, and it maps out the room that it's in. Once it gets an idea of the size and the shape of the room, it then tunes its output to match the room. So you're getting really, really good quality audio. And that apparently it just sounds awesome. I haven't heard one yet myself, but the reports I've been getting back are quite positive. Hopefully it'll be worth the $499 Australian. when it lands. So if people are into getting some good audio into their home that's also got Siri built into it, it's probably not a bad idea. I just worry that the HomePod has taken a little too long to come to the market, because we've already had the Google Home around for almost over a year now, I think. And the Amazon Echo has been out for, a short time. Mm-hmm. And the Apple HomePod is only just starting to hit the shelves and making its way into the Australian market. So, I don't know. We'll see how we go. Be very interesting.
Like I say, you're getting really excited about this sort of stuff, aren't you?
I'm really excited. This is the sort of next step for when we start getting really intelligent homes. So you can walk into a room and you can say, hey, whatever the device's name is, do this thing for me. And so one of the really forward-looking things for all of these devices is the idea of device control within the home, so smart homes, so home automation. So you can start saying things like, make me a pot of coffee, or turn down the lights, or I want to watch Netflix, and it'll dim the lights, it'll close the curtains, and it'll turn on Netflix. So we're taking yet another step towards that sci-fi dream.
Yeah. A lot of people would like it. A lot of other people might feel a bit uncomfortable.
As always. There's always those people out there who are saying, well, yes, but what if? Mm-hmm. And there is nothing wrong with taking that critical line of thinking. Because believe it or not, the people who say...
Mind you, what if is healthy? What if sometimes says, well, this is all going to be great when it works. What happens when it doesn't, or when it malfunctions?
Yeah. Yeah. And the what if you guys are out there, excuse me, if you're asking yourselves, what if this happens, or what if I do that, at the end of the day, you guys are being like the modern day hackers, because that's exactly what hackers do. Hackers sit down and...
What if I do this? What's going to be the outcome?
Exactly. If I step outside the bounds of how it's normally used, what will happen then? And this is exactly the sort of train of thought that hackers, good and bad,
have been doing for a long time.
Have been doing for a long time, and that's what they do. So if you've got that sort of thinking about you, you might actually have work cut out for you as a cybersecurity operative, either with the Australian government or with Google or with whoever. So if you've got that inquisitive mind, it's very likely that the big guys will be wanting to talk to you.
How long has this sort of stuff been going on where they use everyday people to put this to the test? The old line about let's push this button and see what happens kind of thing.
Hey, it's as old as inventions itself. Yeah. You always have these people called beta testers and game and game testers, and just basically quality assurance and just people who put stuff through,
the ringer.
The ringer, not normal procedure.
So basically, test this, hammer it.
Yep.
If it blows up, we need to do some more work. If it doesn't, it's all good.
Yeah, there you go. Here's a new thing we've made. Try and break it.
Why, if that's the case, why do we still have so many hackers? Are the hackers that much better than the beta testers?
Oh, yeah. Yes, yeah, absolutely. So some of the high-level black hat hackers, we'll call them, the bad guys, they're actually in it for the money. And you can make...
To make a bunch of money.
An amazing bunch of money. So you can be what they call...
I wonder what would happen. How many hackers do you reckon would fall off the map if we lost internet connection to Belarus for a few days?
Well, that's a lot of speculation. I mean, Belarus doesn't serve a large amount of the area, but look, they're all over the place, yeah.
Oh, God, mate, there's a whole heap of them come out of there. The other place was, they used to say at one stage that if a hurricane went through Florida, spam dropped by 60%.
Well, yes, there was a guy dubbed the Spam King, and I think he was brought to justice last year or the year before, and it was a pretty hefty penalty. So, yeah, he wore that one quite squarely.
Had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's what happens when the FBI comes knocking through your door.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
No.
But unless it's to say, hey, you've been doing some really good work. We want you to come work with us.
Why don't we have really, really effective beta? I suppose because the distinction is the black hat. Geez, I'm going to have fun with this one again. The black hat hackers are making $1 or a ruble or a dinar or whatever the hell they're making. And the beta testers are just having a bit of fun with a bit of equipment. It's not quite the same.
Well, look, it's the reward that they get back. So there are the white hat hackers or the grey hat hackers. So these are the people who know how to break things, and what they do with their information is they then go to either Google or Microsoft or a security organisation, and they say, hey, we found this flaw, and there's usually a bounty involved with it. So a lot of the big companies, they pay what they call a bug bounty. If you find something wrong with it, you can prove it, you get paid. Simple as that. The problem is, with the black hat hackers, the black market is far more lucrative.
Yeah.
It's insane the amount of money they can make.
And I suppose when you're talking about people doing stuff online, it also becomes very, very difficult sometimes to catch them.
Oh, yeah.
If they're bouncing everything through areas, usually areas with which the country in which they operate has no extradition treaty, and they can't get any information, they remain untrackable, because one would imagine that people like that know how to cover their tracks.
That's right.
And that's where the problem comes in, isn't it? Nobody knows what the hell. Half the time they don't even know where they are, much less be able to go and prosecute them.
Yeah, and just the fact that they're in another country, it stops a lot of the local authorities dead in their tracks. So, overseas hackers, they usually have very little consequence to face.
They do indeed. All right, benaylett.com is the website.
Yep.
And we'll have and by the way, that's where you'll also find all of the contact information. So if you need to get in contact with the man, that's how you do it. As always, Ben, thank you very much for that.
As always, fun to come along, Chris. Thanks very much for having me.
And we'll shoot the breeze next week.
I'll catch you then.
Nearly 150,000 people attended a festival dedicated to food. A bunch